When was the last time you failed at something? When that happened, if you said anything other than, I did my best, I learned something, I'm going to do better next time, you're letting excuses, a fixed mindset, and your limiting beliefs hold you back from success. Hey, welcome back. Jeff Heggie, Daily Success Strategies. Thanks for being with me today. I got a lot to talk about today on limiting beliefs. This is a subject that everyone struggles with to some degree, and I get a lot of questions about it. And I was actually talking with someone about it yesterday and decided to, rather than reply to them, make it into a podcast because I know this is something that could help a lot of people. So I want to get into that, but first of all, it is Friday, so the same thing we do every Friday. What did you commit to on Monday that you said you're going to achieve by Friday, so that when you looked back, you could say, I'm closer to my bigger goals and I had a great week? So be accountable to those things. What did you say on Monday you were going to do? And let us know. If you're watching or listening to this on social media, leave me a comment, send me a DM, whatever you need to do. If you don't have clearly defined written out goals, go to jeffheggie.com/biggerfuture. Go through that free webinar series. It's going to help you do all that and get you all set up so that you can be a part of this and be held accountable to this. All right, so talking about limiting beliefs, overcoming limiting beliefs. There's a number of things I want to talk about here, and I just want to begin by starting out talking about a few things out of Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. So when we look at what Napoleon Hill talks about, I want to start with some of the things he talks about. The first step towards riches is desire. And you've got to create a burning desire, which is the goals that we're talking about. Your goals that you're obsessed with, that you're really focused on achieving and creating that plan. Well, after you've got all that figured out, the second step towards riches in Think and Grow Rich, he talks about faith. And the reason I want to talk about faith is because as we move into talking about your limiting beliefs, you'll see where this all ties together. And I just want to read a few quotes. This isn't in any particular order, but he says, faith is a state of mind which may be induced or created by affirmation or repeated instruction to the subconscious mind through the principles of autosuggestion. Now, autosuggestion is actually the next step towards riches, but we'll talk about that in a moment. It says, the mind comes finally to take on the nature of the influences which dominate it. Understand this truth, and you will know why it's essential for you to encourage the positive emotions as dominating forces of your mind and discourage or eliminate negative emotions. I'll talk about that more when we talk about self-talk. He goes on to say, it's a well-known fact that one comes finally to believe whatever one repeats to oneself. And this again is the third step towards riches, which is autosuggestion. He says, every man is what he is because of the dominating thoughts which he permits to occupy his mind. Now, what are the negative limiting beliefs that you're holding? And how much do you allow them to dominate your mind, dominate your thoughts, dominate the conversations you're having in your head? Well, the next part I want to go into, I want to talk a little bit about the momentum cycle. If you haven't heard me talk about the momentum cycle, you can get that for free. Go through that training program I have at jeffheggie.com/momentum. But basically it's a process of where, imagine it in a circle or a square where you've got potential in the upper left-hand corner, action, and then down to results, belief and certainty, which I often call confidence, and then back to potential. And it creates this circle. And basically what happens is, as human beings, we've got so much potential, unlimited potential. And when we take that potential and take massive action, we get some big results, which gives us more belief and certainty or confidence, which lets us tap into more potential, take more action, and that cycle continues. But what happens when you've got all that potential, you take action, and you don't get the results you're looking for? Well, then your belief and certainty is less. This is where our limiting beliefs come into play. When our belief and certainty is less, we tap into less of our potential. We take less action. We get worse results. And just like we can have the positive momentum of the momentum cycle, when something goes wrong, it can go spiraling in the wrong direction as well. And so actually in the momentum series, I talk about some of the ways that you can change that and some of the things that you can do to stop that downward spiral and fix that. So like I said, go check that out at jeffheggie.com/momentum. It's free. But I want to just kind of start from there a little bit, because there are things we need to look at when we've got those limiting beliefs, when we have some results that we didn't want or aren't as good as we wanted. And so our limiting beliefs kick in, and then we tap into less potential. It's important to understand how to deal with these limiting beliefs so that we can get around them. Now, in episode 514, I talked about beliefs have the power to create or destroy. And I encourage you to go listen to that too, because I talk a lot about how our beliefs can be created around fear. And we need to start seeing things how they are rather than how they could be. Because a lot of the things that we fear never come to fruition. Fears are just thoughts we've got in our head of something in the future, and we give so much power to them, and we don't need to, because we don't know if they're going to happen, and most of the times they don't, but they really can cause some limiting beliefs. But when we talk about our limiting beliefs, we don't have, they're exactly that, they're beliefs, and we can change our beliefs. We don't have to be stuck with them. And if beliefs aren't giving you if they're not empowering you, you need to change them. So I want you to think of a time that you failed. I said this in the opening remarks, and it's, if you said anything when that happened, if you said anything other than, I did my best, I learned from the experience, and I'm going to be able to do better next time because of the things I learned. If you said anything other than that, you're making excuses, you're allowing a fixed mindset to come into play, and you're letting your limiting beliefs get in the way. So again, before we go too far into limiting beliefs, I want to touch on growth mindset, fixed mindset. And this is why you can see this isn't an easy topic to talk about, because there's so many different things that come into play. The growth mindset and the fixed mindset are the mindsets that allow us to believe that failure is something we can learn from and grow from and do better at. And when we have a fixed mindset, we look at it more as, I failed, I'm a failure, nothing I can do about that. When we develop more of a growth mindset, we're looking at things as learning experiences and getting better from the experiences we have, and we grow from it. And that we can go down a complete different rabbit hole with that one. One of the things I strongly suggest, go through Ryan Godfredson's mindset assessment. It will really tell you where you are in the success mindsets, 4 different mindsets. It's free. Go to jeffheggie.com/mindset assessments. And once you've gone through that, contact me. Send me an email, jeff@jeffheggie.com, and I can share some free tools with you that will help you develop more of a growth mindset, more of a powerful mindset, and all the success mindsets. So again, go to jeffheggie.com/mindset assessments. It's an incredible tool from Ryan Godfredson. My interview with him on my other podcast is there too. Strongly suggest that. So, rounding back to the limiting beliefs. How do we overcome our limiting beliefs? So, first of all, we need to identify them. We need to identify what our limiting beliefs are and where they come from. And usually, our limiting beliefs are going to fall into 4 categories. The first one is limiting beliefs about the world. About, this is how things are, I have no control over it. We'll talk more about that. There's another one about limiting beliefs about other people. And it's, you're concerned about what other people think of you, say about you, all of those things. Then we have the limiting beliefs about ourselves. These are the beliefs of ourselves, such as, I'm too ugly, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too dumb, those sort of things. And the biggest thing with these is understanding that these are not facts. They're just stories that we're telling ourselves. And like I said earlier, we can change our stories. So we'll get into that. And then there's actually entitled limiting beliefs. And these are the ones where you believe the world owes you something. Believe that you're better than others. So limiting beliefs about the world, other people, yourself, and entitlement. So we've got to first identify where these limiting beliefs are coming from. So if you're doing something and you've got these limiting beliefs that are holding you back, first of all, identify which one is it of those 4. Which category does that fall into? And then what I want you to do next is take responsibility for it. You know, the number one reason that people don't achieve their goals is they don't take responsibility for their actions, and they choose to believe their circumstances are out of their control. I'm sure if you've followed me a lot, you've heard me, read my articles that I've talked about the story that Tammy Matheny shared called This Is Good. And the biggest thing here is it can help you overcome so many limiting beliefs for you to understand that things are happening for you. They're not happening to you. The world isn't out to get you. The world is out to help you succeed. And ultimately, your choices of your behavior and your action and your beliefs, they're yours, and they come down to this. And so, you look at things, you can say, yeah, that's easy to say, this is good, that the choices are ours. Well, ultimately, there are a lot of things that are out of our control, but how you react and respond to them are in your control. They're always in your control. And if you haven't heard this story, This Is Good, go back in previous episodes or go to jeffheggie.com and find it. It's in one of my blog posts, but it's really a great way to look at things to help you realize that things are happening for you, not to you. And that includes the things that you think are bad. There's always something positive to find in it. So as you're going through these things, you've identified what category your limiting beliefs are in. You're saying, okay, I'm going to take responsibility for this. One thing that you need to do next is let go of certainty. You look at the 6 basic needs, and certainty is actually one of the most important ones. It gives us comfort and stability to have certainty, but it can also hold us back. And sometimes we've got to understand that we've got to let go of that certainty. That's why in my mindset questions, I'm always saying you've got to find something every single day to step out of your comfort zone. You've got to have that uncertainty, because uncertainty is one of the six needs as well. So let go of that certainty, because it can hold you back. Because, as we look at our goals, if you're looking at a goal to achieve something you don't already have, you've got to do something you're not doing. And that means you've got to take actions that are going to be uncomfortable, that are going to make you step out of your comfort zone. Otherwise, you'd already have those goals achieved. So those are some of the things to start identifying them and helping you get a handle on them. But to really overcome your limiting beliefs, in the momentum cycle, I talked about how we go from potential to action to results to belief and certainty. And a lot of times I substitute belief and certainty for confidence. Well, in the Confident Athlete program and in a lot of the things I talk about in these episodes, and I just recently did some trainings in the High Achievers Mindset Secrets program Facebook page, I did some trainings on confidence, but it's the same thing with belief and certainty. And there's some important factors to improve your confidence. One is your self-talk, your body language, your preparation. There's so many things that we can look at that help us increase our confidence, increase our belief in ourselves. So as we're doing that, some of the things one of the most important things you need to do, and this goes back to what we were talking about with Think and Grow Rich with Napoleon Hill, it's your self-talk. Your self-talk, and that can include the conversations you're having in your head. It can include the things that you're writing in emails. It can include all those things. You've got to be able to recognize the negativity, recognize those limiting beliefs, recognize all the negative things that are not empowering you, and interrupt that and change it to a more empowering conversation. And it's easy to talk about, it's harder to do. I understand that. But something that works, and you've got to understand that you've got to do it. When you catch yourself anytime that you're having that negative self-talk, having those negative conversations of, I can't do this, he says this about me, he doesn't like me, she doesn't think I'm good, whatever it might be, you've got to replace that with an empowering replacement. We look at faith in Think and Grow Rich, and we look at the autosuggestion. The more we say something, the more we believe it. So whether it's true or not, whatever you're saying to yourself, you're believing. So we've got to be very careful and conscious about what we're saying to ourselves. And so I want you to really be conscious of your self-talk. We can go into all the other things with our body language, with our preparation, all those things, but really I think the self-talk is probably the most powerful one, that when you can change your self-talk to be more empowering. That's going to allow you to tap into more potential, to take more action, and eventually start getting those bigger results, which will give you more confidence and belief. So that's a struggle. It can be hard because it requires a lot of self-discipline. You've got to be able to recognize those things and take the action, whether you've seen those results yet or not. But I can promise you this, that if you've got those negative limiting beliefs in your mind and it's part of your self-talk, and you continue to let that pattern happen, you're not going to get there. You've got to be able to replace that negative self-talk with empowering conversations in your head before you ever start believing those things. And, going back to Think and Grow Rich, when we consistently repeat those things that are empowering, we start to believe those things. And that's where autosuggestion and faith comes in, and how that all ties together. And if you haven't read Think and Grow Rich, you have to read Think and Grow Rich. I'm going to put the link in my show notes. Make sure to go get that book. But it's an incredible book that can teach you a lot of things. But biggest thing is you've got to identify what your limiting beliefs are. What's holding you back? And understand that that's all it is a belief. It's an excuse. It's a fixed mindset. And you can change that. You have the power to change that. And if you have that burning desire and that goal is an obsession, you'll be willing to do that. This is a lot longer episode than I had planned on and most usually do, but this is something that I'm passionate about. It's not an easy subject to talk about because there's so many directions we can go. But hopefully this is something that'll help get you in the right direction, help you overcome those limiting beliefs, and start putting the practices into place that are going to help you build your confidence, build your certainty, and build your belief. And as you do that, that momentum cycle will continue to go in the right direction. Thanks for being with me. Have a great weekend. Go check out jeffheggie.com/group coaching. Love you to join us there. I will see you on Monday. Why do some people succeed at all levels beyond their imagination while others struggle? The mind is the key to your success. Even the best strategy won't matter without the right mindset to implement it. For those who desire to be great, to do amazing things, and have an impact on the world, the Bigger Future Coaching Program is designed to take your life and your business to another level. If you're ready to make big commitments, be held accountable, and develop the success mindsets that'll take you beyond your dreams, join us today. Find out more at jeffheggie.com/group coaching. Some of you may know this, but in addition to my coaching, I've recently joined Geneva Financial Home Loans, a mortgage lender headquartered in Chandler, Arizona, as a mortgage loan originator. I've always had a passion for serving others, and now I'm proud to also be a part of Home Loans Powered by Humans. If you're in the state of Arizona and looking to take the next step in your journey, contact me at 801-830-3858 to start the conversation. NMLS number 42056, BK number 0910215, Equal Opportunity Lender.